Which brings us to why we're here today. In 1987, as part of his contract for doing The Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller had to do another story, a new Batman origin. Originally conceived as a graphic novel in the same vein as The Dark Knight Returns, it was decided to instead make it part of the regular Batman monthly title. Batman's monthly sales had hit an all-time low at the time, and they needed to prop them up. They even wanted to start a second volume with a new #1, but Miller was actually against this, saying, "I didn't feel that fleshing out an unknown part of Batman's history justified wiping out 50 years of adventures." A sad state of affairs when Frank Miller recognized the problem with the New 52 better than DC could 25 years before it happened. Anyway, point is that the 4-part storyline, titled Batman Year One, was a success. Anyway, at the funeral, Reiko talks with her aunt about the death, and how no one is quite certain how it happened. Whatever she died from, it seems like she pulled out her hair in a frenzy because they found hair under her nails. And she also looked like this, which is definitely better than how the movie handled it. How did the movie handle its death scenes? Well, basically they... Oh my god! This is my cat right here! Yeah, major points to the American version for the messed up, twisted faces instead. Just look at Mom and Dad. They're running. They're jumping. They're dancing. No. That's not how you dance when the world is ending. Fortunately, to demonstrate that properly, we have the ninja-style dancer. She checks in with the manager's office to ask about the 4. While the guy running it checks his records, she looks over and spots a bunch of videotapes for rent, and she notices a single unlabeled one on the shelf. That video! What's that video? Huh? Oh, that's, Song of the South. You don't want to watch that. There's a reason Disney ain't re-releasing it anytime soon. This? Oh, a visitor left it here. Can I borrow it? I would like to see it! Sure, of course. Gonna need to see some ID, though. You would not believe what we had to clean up after they were done filming it. But yeah, he tells her everything, and they learn he can retain information he speed reads. He reveals his plan to travel the Earth to learn about it, advice given from his dad, and the two grow increasingly closer as a couple. After getting a kiss goodnight from her, he heads over to a spot where the Markham gang used to bully kids. And for a minute, he pretends the spot is his own hiding place, his little fortress of solitude. And then he takes himself a pee. Superman! Likes to pee in bushes where he was bullied. Thank you for that information, Frank, and for reminding us you're the one writing this. After that, he starts learning to fly better, with some honestly decent poetic descriptions of it, and we get a proper time jump into the end of high school. Clark successfully wins a football game for the team, and then tells his dad he intends to follow his advice and travel the world once he's out of school. Bruce has a nightmare recalling the time when he fell into a cave and was confronted by bats, including the image of a giant one. Surely the fiercest survivor, the purest warrior. Behold, the purest warrior! You may be surprised to learn that probably the most iconic image of the American film, the light seeping through the well's lid, is not actually part of the original movie. And as a result, some of you may be wondering, well, wait, why is this called The Ring if the titular ring is not part of the film? The title actually refers to a few different things. For one, how in the novel, the cursed tape created a ring-shaped virus that killed people, but more importantly, the spreading of the curse by it getting shown more, thus creating an ever larger circle of people affected by it. A ring. Mind you, that's a little head-tilting, since it suggests that it would eventually swing back around to the first person who watched it, but the line doesn't really have the same ring to it. And from there, we finally catch up with Ash, who of course has been narrating all this and is the one the S-Mart manager was talking about. The name's Ash, housewares, domestic engineer, Detroit S-Mart, and I am the chosen one. It wasn't always this way. I had a real life once, a long time ago in an S-Mart far, far away. But all that is ancient history, just like the Romans and their pyramids. Yes, let us never forget that enemy I have spoken of so often, Ancient Rome! Ryuji's a professor at a local university, and the two have been divorced for 3 years now. Reiko outlines all this for him, and he just seems amused by the whole concept, wanting to see it for himself. You're exaggerating. How about getting an exorcism done? Hey, good idea! You know, I think one of the films actually did try that. How'd that go? Okay, gonna put that in the maybe pile. Ash says he's gonna stop him, but Freddy just laughs that off, because he already performed the spell 10 minutes ago. Turns out that comic-loving kid I killed in the 5th movie had a copy of Watchmen on him. It's been a big inspiration. As spirits swarm around Freddy and out of the Voorhees house, Jason seems to take notice and realize he may have backed the wrong horse since he decides to come back into the house. Freddy pins Ash to the wall with some replicas of his hand from the dream. Ha ha ha! Now that's what I call a hand job! Now that's what I call a terrible joke, Fred. This actually reminds me of the Spider-Man vs. Superman fight, in that fight was really good, and this is just really sad. After some more punching, Superman finally grabs Batman and threatens to punch him back, but then a hand comes from nowhere and takes his. No! No more. You're both making fools of yourselves. Oh hey, I'm in the comic. No, it's Wonder Woman. Oh my god! What is wrong with her body proportions? What's going on with her neck? Why are her legs in that pose compared to her torso? Why are her arms so long? What is she even doing here? This is the first time we've seen her!
It just raises too many questions.
But this ends now. This is our moment. No more squabbles. No more fights. We join forces. Good point. Also, who are you? From this very moment to the exact instant that each one of us dies, we serve one purpose, one idea, one cause, justice. And together we can be justice. Oh my god, with the crappy writing, I can totally believe she actually would say that in this. One to transport. Execute. Execute. Execute? Don't mind if I do. Where are you? Show yourself! Your funeral is about to begin, sir. Ah!